All right. Hello, everyone. I have returned to you with more great stuff to show you. It's the good stuff today, guys. The Shaggai Map. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Doesn't really matter, does it? Oh, Shaggai the Map. And I have my beautiful assistant Eva here to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. So there's that. So Shaggai the Map. There we go. Now, today we're going to concentrate on the miniatures and the map itself. In this case, this map's not especially useful for anything. Some game maps are, but the Cthulhu Wars map's not so much, because it's, you're taking over a world. So it's not like you're going to find interesting places on a scale that you can use for your miniatures in another game. It's just not that kind of game. It's a dudes on a map game. And, well, it makes up for that with the cool monster menus you get. Now, one thing I gotta say, this box, horrible as far as getting things out of it. It's way too tight. You gotta dump it over. And, yeah, try to get everything out without damaging anything. Although, with all the complaints I saw, I expected it to actually be worse. But it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. So, there's that. So, the map itself. Now, I gotta say, with this particular opening, it's not a lot to do with the miniatures because only the worms would be something you could really do anything with. Well, I guess if you were creative enough, you could do something with the explosions. I don't even know how to begin to show this off. I know Eva's going to want to get on it. Alright, here we go. So, there's two sides to this map. Obviously, for different numbers of players. This is the 5-player side. And there's two halves to this map, okay? And it takes up a lot of table space. It's actually quite large. Now, I played as Cthulhu when I played. We had one playthrough. And I gotta tell you, I owned on this map as Cthulhu. There's just so much ocean. And I put him out on the second round because I knew there was a chance my starting point would blow up and that'd cost me power. So that was my strategy. And it worked. I won handily. Now, that's not to say that Cthulhu's the only faction that can win on this map, but I don't know. I had a pretty good run with Cthulhu because, as it exploded, most of the areas left were ocean. So whenever I submerged and I came up, I was able to get my elder signs, from losing Cthulhu and battles and all, and my spell books, because everyone was on an ocean space, because just out of the fact that everything was dying. And in a lot of the spaces, they didn't really have a choice. So I'm coming up, boom, I got all my spell books in one battle. The battle spell books. And then I'm killing Cthulhu off and then resummon him. Boom, boom, boom. Getting elder signs as the world dies around me. And I've already got my spell books. It was pretty sweet. So that's one side. The other side, it's similar. There's fewer spaces, of course, because it's fewer player count. But the spaces are bigger and juicier. And Eva has no idea what's going on here. Alright, so you get the idea here. There's two, like I said, and again, lots of ocean space. So when you look at this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spaces. And of those, about half are ocean spaces. Alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 oceans. Well, 5 ocean spaces. Well, almost half though. And that's great for Cthulhu. Cthulhu loves that stuff. I mean, because that's, you're talking about spell books here. You're talking about spell books from battle. So it makes the merge easier. You're talking about spell books from either building gates or other people building gates. Or both, right? You're also getting bonus power if people build gates in these spaces. So it's pretty sweet to be Cthulhu on this map. That's just my impression, just from playing it once. I could be wrong though. Alright. So, having actually played this, I can actually have an opinion about it. Yeah. But let's look at the minis, because we're here for the minis. Let's look at the worms. Now, this is pretty cool. Again, since I've actually played it, I can actually describe it to you. So if you notice, there are exactly 6 worms. And here are the worms. The worms of Groth, I believe they are called. It's actually a pretty sweet sculpt. Pretty cool. So, the way this works is, you'll notice each of the worms has a number on it. This one's number 6. Okay. So, it's 1 through 6, guys. Okay. Now, there are these dice that come with it, the map. And it's based on how many players you have in play, right? So, since there's a max of 5 players, you have 5 dice on a 5-player game. 4 players, 4 dice. On and on. You get the idea. Okay? Now, each time a player moves, each segment, the player's going to place one of these worms if there's one left unplaced. They're going to place it on any of the spaces on the map. This space, etc. Okay, now, in the Doom phase, a player is going to roll. We had the leader roll, but I didn't see anything in the rulebook as to who rolls. So that's just what we win. But I may have just missed it, but that's what we did. So if you're worried about who rolls, you can fight amongst yourselves. You would roll the die, and in this case, this is an ideal roll. Not perfect, but a good roll. And the reason is, as you can see here, well, you can't really see because it's not focusing, but if it did, you would see that we have a 1, a 3, and a 3. That's a good roll because you're only going to lose spaces with the 1 and the 3 worm on it. Best case scenario, they'd all be 3s because then you'd only lose 1 land, right? Or worst case, depending on if you're in the lead or not. So, if it were all 3s, you would only find the number 3 worm, and any land with a corresponding dice, you replace the worm with one of these explosion counters. Boom! Boom! Annihilation counters, I think they're called. Okay? That land can no longer be traveled through, used in any way, shape, or form. It basically disappears from the map. Now, how cool is that? So it gets very claustrophobic in there. Yeah. It's a really cool dynamic. There are rules. So, if you build a gate where one of these worms are, you get certain abilities, and some of those abilities are you get to actually pay power to do things that maybe you can't do anymore because there's not enough map left. So it's kind of a fail-safe. So you can pay 6 power for any spell book, and actually it's in the little rule book here. By the way, let's look at that annihilation token. Again, you know, this could be used in a role-playing game as a fireball or a fire spear or any number of great trap, you know. So there are, I mean, potential uses for something like that. But to me, the worms are the star here as far as useful minis. This could be any number of cool beasties in any role-playing game. You know, there's a lot of worms out there. And you could paint these up any old way your heart desires. And since they're not part of a faction, it really doesn't even matter for the Cthulhu Wars game. So, you know, you could paint these up as young purple worms, frost worms, whatever kind of worm you want it to be. Giant worms. You know, your own unique special worm that no one's ever seen before because it's your worm that you've come up with. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all wrong with that. The dice are a nice touch. Now you could just use regular D6s, right? And they'd work just as well. So if you do lose one of these, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. There you go, Eva. Get it. Get it, Eva, get it. But it's nice of them to add it, you know? It's a nice touch. It's a nice touch. Anyway, let's move right along. We're getting a little long on this. This should be a simple video, right? Not too many components here. There is a lovely rule set that comes with the box. And there it is. And you'll want to read that when you get it. Or you can look in the Omega rule book, which came with the Onslaught 3. Also, it comes with these cool, you hand these out to the players, hint cards. And they're really nice. I think they're nice. Eva, what do you think? You think they're nice? Yeah, so it tells you the rules. It gives you a basic overview of what you're looking at here. Like I said, fun map. We had a hoot. I'm sure it's going to come out more. We played this game for like 15 hours the other day, which is insane, right? Since I only get 1 day off a week, maybe 2 if I'm lucky. Yeah, so yeah, pretty sweet that everybody liked it that much. Anyway, you know the routine. Have an amazing day, and I hope you find all the miniatures of your dreams while you're awake. Eva hopes you find them too. Be well, my friend.